följare. Nu måste jag precis tvärtom.
Okay.
Det här är första gången du spelar det här, va?
Ja.
Då tycker jag att vi ringer upp William Pugh. Så spännande det är. Tänk om man verkligen inte svarar nu.
Hello!
Hello, William!
What's up? How's it going?
It's great! Hello from Spelskapet in Sweden! Woo! Woo! Hi!
Hello. Hello from the middle of nowhere in England.
We're just about to start the game, and today, I'm not sure if you're watching the stream, Oishi will be playing, and this is the first time ever that
awesome.
she's played it.
Oh, could you give me a link to this show? Oh, I'm terribly sorry. I should have been watching it already. I should have been preparing, doing warm-ups, you know, everything. But
I'll make sure someone sends you the link on Twitter.
Okay.
We have a command central here that runs everything for us, and they're doing a great job. We're, as you might know, we're collecting money for a women's shelter, and we've collected more than 10,000 Swedish crowns right now, which is a lot.
Oh, wow, that's wonderful.
And I have to say, one of the games that people have been looking most forward to is just this, the Stanley Parable with you.
So hyped!
Everyone here is really
the
hyped.
Stanley Parable. With me. Sorry.
Why didn't you just do like with, you should have done like Zuckerberg and just named it Stanley Parable, just remove the.
Yeah. I should, well, hindsight is always 20/20, I suppose.
So we're at the title screen right now. Let me know when when you've got the link to the screen.
Yeah, it's loading up now. Here we go.
Oh, 1 minute. They can't really hear you well. I'm gonna raise the volume a bit.
Hello. Hello. Noise.
Here we go.
Speaking. Hello. Is this better?
This is great. Thanks a lot.
I could just start whispering and make it get away from the microphone.
Well, we've got 215 people watching right now, so don't feel any pressure.
No pressure. None at all.
Has anyone sent him the link?
I've got it.
Yeah,
I've got it.
great.
I can see you guys in top right. Chat.
Hello, William. Now let's play some Stanley Parable. Oishi, go ahead.
Right.
Yes. Video games, or maybe not video games if you listen to the forums, but I don't know. Let's go.
So, I'm gonna ask the most basic question of all.
Okay.
What was your inspiration for this game?
My inspiration was basically to make as much money as possible while making as little work as possible. And sorry, you've caught me at a time where I have very little genuine serious.
For a company
Oh, that's great. That's what we want.
Okay. Oh, so comedy. Oh well, basically, my Stanley Parable was all about choice and vast, unimportant ideas. That I don't even. Okay, look. I'm gonna be completely honest. All right.
Right.
For the past week, I've had on my. You can hear this. I've had on my on the front of my computer in big letters Saturday 6:30 Swedish thing, right? But I think probably about an hour or two ago that kind of just flopped off and fell onto the floor.
Yeah.
And so when you called me, I did panic a bit and realised that I'm not in the zone. You can't see, I'm tugging desperately at the collar of my shirt. Because alright, but okay, I'm getting into press mode. Not even press mode, just talking to people mode. The Stanley Parable. The inspiration for the Stanley Parable was...
Yeah, who is Stanley? Who the hell is Stanley? First of all.
Well, Stanley's this guy works in an office building. He's his employee number is 427. You know, he hangs about a bit. You know, he's pretty nice. He's got his co-workers. You know, they might or might not get on, and he's got a narrator narrating everything that he says. And to say any more would be to just help you out too much. I think the big thing about the Stanley Parable is you got to do a lot of work for yourself in this, which means, you know, I don't have to do as much work when it comes to writing, and you know, I made this game with my colleague, my co-worker Davey Reedon in America. He did most of the writing, and I did most of the kind of design.
All right.
And I can't speak for the amount of drugs Davey was on when he wrote the game, but I can say with confidence that it was a lot.
So,
I think I'm about 30 seconds or a minute behind you on the stream, so I might not be able to comment directly on what's going on.
I'll try and ask questions that are timeless. So we're at the part where our co-workers are gone, and this kind of reminds me, like, this office is terrible. I would never want to work there. It's hellish. So you did the design for this.
Yeah, I did all the level design, and me and Davey worked together on the kind of more cerebral, thoughty design of the game, like the conceptual stuff. So actually, I remember quite early on, because this game's a kind of remake / sequel of the original Stanley Parable, which was a mod created by Davey Reedon for Half-Life 2.
Right.
And oh, can you hear a loopback? Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. I'll turn on. It's on our part. I'll turn on the volume right here, and the loopback shall be gone.
Right. So.
There you go.
So we sent a pretty early version off to a couple of people for just kind of basic playtesting, to just kind of see what they thought, if they thought the kind of direction of the game was going in a kind of cool direction. So not much level design had been done. All this beautiful office scenery that you see before you, or whatever other scenery you see, depending on where you are, it wasn't in there yet. And the only kind of real detail we had was the first kind of few opening office rooms, and
right.
And they came back with they wrote this long email, and they said the conceit behind the game is very, very interesting, and the narrator, of course, is very good. However, one thing I had a problem with was the office. Just the visual, just whoever you've got doing the visual design of the office, clearly, no, and so I remember, you know, this is the first game I worked on, and back then, when I was so naive, I thought, oh, come on, no, I was really proud of it as well. So I was like, they suggested a bunch of changes, and I, like the bad game designer that I am, just refused to make any. Don't do that at home, kids. Listen to feedback.
You need to be the one to do this.
Or maybe he just didn't know what he was talking about. Maybe, who knows?
We've got a donation goal that we have to follow. And that is during our first playthrough, we have to do the exact opposite of the whatever the voice tells us to do.
Okay.
And so far, we've ended up with an empty room with only a telephone in it. And Oishi, are you going to answer it?
I think I have to.
You have
I
to call
can't really get out of the room otherwise.
Just pick up the phone then. And I think this might be one of the endings of the game.
Oh, maybe. I don't know how much to say because.
Oh wait, no, we got to play some more. So, how many endings does this game have?
Well, we don't like. It kind of depends what you call an ending. Sometimes there's a point where the game will just stop and you can't get any further. and you can call that an ending. And there's some smaller endings that aren't kind of big ones, like the one you're in at the moment. And then there's like quite a few large ones. I've heard people say that there's anywhere between 9 and 20 endings. Internally, it probably internally kind of what I considered there to be when we were designing the game. I'd probably go closer to 9, but just on my screen you just got the brick wall.
Well, this narrator is really, really unfriendly.
Well, you've been doing the opposite of everything he's asked you to do. So maybe you got to appreciate that you're not the most you're not being the easiest kind of moment to deal with.
So is this a training simulator preparing people for office work and making sure that they're not anarchists? Now you can be honest with us. Did CIA pay you to make this game?
I'm glad I can be honest with you. Yeah, I'd say. Well, maybe not the CIA. I think that the business side of things were mostly Davies kind of purview. So I'm gonna say honestly that I didn't have any direct dealings with the CIA because because we're based in Europe. I mainly dealt with MI6.
Interpol and
Interpol
and
yeah.
Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook. They're the new spying people, aren't they? Oh, controversial.
Well, I can. You might not hear this, but Oishi is giving off sighs. She's getting really angry with the narrator, I believe.
Well,
tired with him.
I'd like to say, on behalf of everyone who worked on the game, that we're very sorry for everything we did.
So
really sorry.
So this thing we're doing, Spelskapet, it's a stream and an event that we want to show that gaming and the culture around gaming, surrounding gaming, can be inclusive, because a lot of the time we meet things that are just off-putting, a lot of sexism, some racism, and things like that. How come there's only men in this game?
Well, I don't want to spoil anything, but I'd say that statement wouldn't be entirely correct. There is a point in the museum ending in which another narrator comes in, and that narrator at least sounds female. Like I've got a quite abstract view of the characters in the Stanley parable, in the sense that they're more representative of kind of forces and concepts, rather than it being kind of realistically things set in an office.
That's quite interesting.
Co-workers. Yeah. As for kind of, I mean, Stanley is a bloke. The narrator is a different kind of thing, because in my opinion I don't really view him as a human being.
Sure, and there's actually I'm not sure that there's anything that it even says that the narrator is male so far.
I don't know. There's a lot of dialogue, so there could be some illusion. I'm not sure.
Right. Well, Oishi, you're getting really upset with the narrator.
Yeah.
He's well, I've spoken to the voice actor, and he's certainly very upsetting.
Please press M to question nothing. That is. I just felt a part of my soul die. This is horrible. Well, and it's exactly like I kind of feel like I used to sit in a cubicle doing these things. Oishi is refusing to follow orders now.
Well, I mean, the voice is trying to make you become this person, this soulless person who just does everything monotonously.
And you don't want to become that.
Man.
No, because that's
mindless
the challenge. Not to listen to the voice.
Do we have to do this? Can we just wait until?
I think at this point you've gone too far to not carry on.
Oh my god. So we have to follow orders.
I guess we do.
Yes, we do. See? Anarchism is dead. Free will doesn't exist.
This just proved it.
God has left the building. We're alone now.
And I think just about now the game should be restarting.
Perhaps, well, maybe this time you'll see.
Oh man, you're my eyes.
Please die.
Yeah, we're. Oh, well, it just said please die. Yeah, great.
It's really nice.
Wow, I think we died.
Yeah.
Stanley pushed a button until he died. That's horrible. Why did you do this to us, William?
because I'm a very
really
spiteful
depressed
person, and I seriously dislike. Well, I dislike you. I dislike everyone who's played the game. I dislike everyone who helped make the game. To be quite frank, I do dislike myself quite a lot.
Yeah, a reverse shout out to everyone who helped make this game.
Reverse shout.
A shout in.
Shout.
A whisper in. So it restarted, and now Oishi, you can do as you please, I believe. We tried not following orders. Now you can do whatever you want. See, I think it's one of the most interesting things about this game is that it's very much, you give the illusion of choice, but it's kind of always on rails at the same time. I mean, there's a limited amount of things you can do, so there's not really that much choice involved.
Well, yeah, I suppose you could say that because in every game, I guess when you boil every game down to its kind of core principles, that's what everything is. I mean, even in Skyrim, there's places you can't go, and there's places that aren't accessible, and if you push too far in one direction, you'll eventually hit a brick wall. And even if you play the game as intended, eventually there'll be no more content for you to experience. So yeah.
Yeah, that was deep. We just walked into the boss's office, and I have never had a boss with an office like this.
It's very extravagant.
Where did you get the inspiration for this room?
I think the boss's office was kind of one of the earlier kind of visual designs that we brought in for the game. I really like the idea of kind of of toppling the kind of structure of this weird space. It's kind of it's extreme to the point in which it's ridiculous. That the kind of the standard employees have kind of like little cubicles and desks, and the boss and Stanley's boss, the person right above him, has this giant, wooden kind of mahogany, like a grand room with hundreds and thousands of books and a fireplace and a piano and everything. I just found that amusing to kind of push something in such an extreme to such an extent with the design.
Exactly.
Amazing.
Big difference between the offices and the boss's room.
Another really nerdy thing would be the color design. Everywhere in the game, I tried to push a kind of color theme. So there's some parts of the game that are quite confusing, and you bounce around a bit between different kind of sections and slices of the game, and you really need kind of clear and intense visuals to kind of separate those places from each other. So like this area you're moving into now, the kind of underground segment,
Right.
that's very different to say the office, which is very different to the big kind of open warehouse section you were in before, which is again different to the boss's office, and it allows I didn't want everything to be set in a kind of monotone kind of color scheme and like visual space. So I guess that's another reason for the kind of design behind stuff.
We just now discovered a mind control facility, and Oishi ignored the sign that said escape and walked right in. I would also like to say that we will be taking questions from the chat room. I don't know if we've gotten any already. Let me check with our command central. Nothing yet, perhaps.
I think I see somebody saying, could you speak more about the concept of obedience in the game?
Oh, sure. Go ahead.
Oh, well, obedience. Well, I guess I could talk an interesting bit of design stuff that came up quite late into development was the notion of choices being binary in the game, in the sense that you often have either a choice to do something or to do another thing, or to either do something or not do something, and it kind of distills your actions in the game down to kind of like a 1 or a 0, like left door, right door, stay on the platform, jump off the platform,
Right.
escape or carry on forward. And that kind of polarizes the notion of obedience, in the sense that maybe the Walking Dead does it in the sense that despite being in a kind of free-form area of conversation, like, hey, we're just talking about stuff, we could talk about anything, as kind of Lee or Clementine, you're pushed into a very kind of reactionary role in which you're reacting to what other people say. And there's 4 choices or 3 choices in silence. I don't know, and that allows your kind of interaction with other characters to be a bit more nuanced and subtle. Whereas in the Stanley Parable, you kind of come across the choices being distilled down to kind of either completely agree and do what the narrator tells you to do, or not to do it in a few areas. That kind of pushes things a lot more to the extreme, and it makes I think it makes more vivid interactions with the kind of character of the narrator, and that allows you to explore kind of the relationship a lot faster and a lot more than if you could just be like, oh man, I don't know what to do. I think either completely agreeing or completely disagreeing, or completely obeying or completely disobeying, allows you to explore that a lot more. I hope that's a good answer.
Yeah.
Anything
I think
else in the chat?
we have another question from the chat, I think.
Yeah, do you hear me, William?
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah, we have a question from Witch Dr. Jones. Hey William, I love the game. Any Easter eggs that you are more happy with?
That I'm more happy with?
Yeah.
Easter eggs. There's a lot. There is a lot.
Do you have a favorite?
I've got a lot of favorites. I think the funniest bit. I think the funniest Easter egg story that I've got is the baby game. If you've played the baby game, there's a section in which the narrator kind of offhandedly says, "Oh, well, if you push this button for 4 hours, maybe we'll get somewhere." And you're, of course, kind of goaded into pressing it a few times, and then giving up. But if you press the button for 4 hours, you'll get a very secret ending, and you've got to stay at the computer and actively press it. And we always thought it would be great to put something in, but we were like, maybe we won't hold out on anyone finding it. So about I think about 6 or 12 hours after the game came out, there was already a video online of the full playthrough of the baby game 4-hour thing. Now
you're a terrible person.
Now the cut scene in the editor that plays after you complete that. I tested that just by itself, so I wouldn't have to kind of compile everything else to test it, and I wouldn't also have to play because we never tested it and playing 4 hours. And so I put it in. I was like, okay, theoretically this should work, But what I didn't realize was there is a piece of geometry in the main kind of space that moves during this 4 hours, and that moves straight in front of the cutscene camera that plays 4 hours later. And so there's a bug that came up that I never thought that, like, I had no idea existed, and it's still in there because we can't. We were like, oh, if that bug's worked so hard to be in the game, I guess we'll let it.
It deserves to be there.
Yeah.
See, I think the concept of the narrator is one of the most interesting parts of this game, and there are other games like Bastion who does other things with the narrator. How did the narrator come to be in this game?
I think with the creation of the original mod, the idea of the narrator came a lot from the limitations of the skill set available to Davey and me. Certainly for Davey when he was creating the mod, and basically we looked at a lot of games like Dear Esther and not Gone Home, because Gone Home wasn't out. Dear Esther and Radiator, which were both kind of mods for Half-Life 2, and they were creating this really interesting experience in which they didn't have to do any modeling of NPCs. They didn't have to do any really complex coding. It was basically player walks here, play a sound file, and with that you can create a bunch of interesting things. And so without having to have a really advanced skill set. So I think the narrator was a way for us to express ourselves and a way to explore a lot of things without necessarily having to spend a great deal of time working on kind of more traditional gamey development stuff.
Right. Do you have any more questions?
The chat says, hello William, you're very handsome.
Hello, I am, yes. Thank you, I suppose.
I have a question personally. The voice and the dialogue or monologue rather is very reminiscent of Douglas Adams. Is that something you done? How do you say it? On purpose, intentionally.
I wouldn't say intentionally. I'd say in the sense that both me and Davey have read like all the works of Douglas Adams, and he's brilliant. But I think if Stanley Parable is reminiscent, I can certainly see how it is. But I wouldn't say that was a kind of direct. We were drawing particularly from that work in the creation of this. Sorry to disappoint you.
Do you have any more questions from the chat? Oishi, you're getting kind of frustrated again.
No, I'm fine.
You're fine now?
Yeah.
You were kind of lost there for a bit.
Yeah, for a bit, but...
This is the first time you're playing this.
Yeah.
What do you think about your experience so far, now that you have the chance to tell the creator to fuck off?
Well, I don't really play games usually at all, so I don't think I'm the best one to talk about this, but...
You don't like it?
No.
It's very frustrating.
Yeah.
Wow, people are being really honest here. I like that.
You know, I work really hard to make this walking simulator, and you get me on here and you just crush my dreams. Crush my dreams. Just don't appreciate a lot of the stuff. Right? I could say that maybe. This sounds a bit pathetic, but give it a bit of time, and maybe you'll like it in a bit. All right, just you know, keep at it. Like you walking around in that control room wasn't for nothing just there. If you do carry on, then there is that does pay off in a sense.
We're free.
Yeah.
We got out.
I'm just gonna say that the secret, or like, it's not an ending, but the secret is probably the best thing in a game ever.
What's the secret? Wait, don't tell us.
I can't even try to tell you what it is. It's just a secret.
Oh wait, I know what the secret is.
What's
You
the secret?
sly devil, you. It's Oh my god, I think I saw this on a website somewhere where you're supposed to add people on Steam or something.
No, that's not the secret.
That's not a
No.
secret. All right, never
What's
mind.
the
then.
secret?
The secret when you go out like on the platform, the
it's
secret
back.
comes out.
Oh, you mean the like disco light thing?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a secret.
That is a pretty good secret.
It's great.
Oshi, would you like to switch, or are you getting tired of this?
Yeah.
You want to switch with someone? Yeah, Oshi wants to switch out with someone. You pick the next victim.
Have we got any video game? Have we got anyone? Is there anyone there that I've bribed to enjoy the game?
To like this.
Yeah.
No one who wants to try this?
Really
Go ahead.
fun. Really.
It's really easy, I promise.
We have a question from the chat again. How was it like bug testing this game?
Bug testing was interesting. Oh, I can't see the chat, but I just heard some sort of collapse.
So we've got a new player here. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Amina.
Hello.
That's all.
That's all. Do you play a lot of video games?
No, not that much. I've been meaning to play this game, but I haven't been able to afford it, sadly.
Yeah. Would you lower the price of your game, please?
It was on sale. I bought it like 2 weeks before the Steam sale. I was so pissed. But you're welcome. My money is yours.
Well, I could give some. Oh wait. I don't want to. One second. Let me see if the people who can get me stuff online.
Hi.
Give me a second. I'm trying to work something out. Give me a second.
Right.
Right.
Are you going to hack us? Or are you DDoSing us?
I was trying. I don't have the free code list.
Oh, cool.
But I can try and give you some codes to give out on the stream a bit later.
That's great. You could just I'll just send it over and we'll make sure our viewers get them.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll DM you or I'll Skype you the codes.
Great.
How much longer is this?
We're on hour 7, so we've got 17 more hours of this.
All right. Okay. Not this game, thank God. But I'd say but yeah, I'll definitely get you some codes later on today.
So William, how did you get into gaming? Are you like a gamer or?
Yeah, I always really enjoyed I enjoyed games from a kind of young age. I remember probably the first game I played was I was in hospital for an operation and they had I think a Nintendo 64 that they'd wheel around. So I think the first kind of game that I played was Super Mario 64, which is of course a brilliant introduction to
Great game.
to any game, any kind of console. But then I got a Super Nintendo for that Christmas, and I played Super Mario World, and then it just kind of grew from there. I remember some of my favorite kind of childhood games were Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, kind of Donkey Kong 64, kind of old Rare games. That's the company Rare, not the word Rare. And then I got a GameCube, and played with a bunch of friends, Smash Brothers and Mario Kart and stuff like that.
Oh, Smash Brothers, hype.
Oh yes.
I love it. I love games that make you hate your friends.
Or your friends hate you, depending on how good you are. Then I think probably about maybe God. About six or 7 years ago, I started to get into PC gaming properly, and I know I remember I started with Gary's mod, because there was a lot of kind of Mario models and models from the games that I've already played on there that you could download and mess about with. And then that got me into Team Fortress 2, which I've played pretty much kind of religiously for about 6 years. And I've constantly enjoyed that. That's how I started that's how I started getting into game development, because I'd make like maps and levels for Team Fortress 2 that me and some friends would kind of play on a private server. And then it's kind of just grown from that. Got into indie games a lot when, you know, Braid and that kind of wave of indie games came out, and it's just kind of grown since that. For the kind of first half a year of development of Stanley Parable, we didn't think that we'd be selling it. We thought it'd just be another mod, and we just kind of give it away. But then kind of development went on and on and on, and we managed to get it polished enough and good enough to where we could start to think about kind of charging for it. But, you know, too much. We've ended up charging too much, apparently, according to I found out today, as people are outraged by the price. I'm very sorry. I just love money. We can't help it. No,
I was wondering, it's being just, you know, you're just two people behind the game.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of, I mean, it's a small. You must have done a lot of hard work, and do you like recommend other people being such a small studio, or what you would call it? Is this something that people should try and do, or should they try and get with something bigger first, or if one wants to make a game, should they just try it themselves with their friends, or?
Well, while Stanley Parable was being made, it was never my number one plan. I never thought, okay, if this doesn't go well, then I'm screwed financially. Because I actually at the time was preparing to enter training to be an actor and to do kind of acting theatre full time. So
I mean, I just won. Sorry, man.
Oh god, and
yeah.
But then after working with Davey for such a long time, it kind of became clear that it was a working relationship that I felt really comfortable in, and I felt comfortable enough to start putting more time down for it. And so I think just at the start of the second year of development, I dropped out of art school, which I was in at the time, and I worked full-time on Stanley for the last year of its development. And, you know, still living at home with my parents. And so I don't know how I'd go about recommending this path to other people, but I'd say it's worked out well for me, primarily because of a lot of luck and a lot of just pure chance. So I wouldn't say it's a sure thing to do well out of the kind of indie game sphere at any rate. But I'd say if you know some good people who you feel comfortable working with, then sure, try it. But listen to people smarter and more intelligent than me before making that momentous life decision. If I knew what I was getting myself into, I probably wouldn't have done it. We never
really?
Because we never thought we were more than 6 months away from launch. Like when we started, we thought, oh, this will be like a 3 or 4 month thing, and then it just kind of grew and grew and grew until at the end we had to release because we ran out of money, basically. That I think that's what dictated the release date in the end, primarily.
I see. We've got a question from the chat again. What are your favorite games and why? Are there any games you can recommend? I think just, you know, you spoke a bit about your games that you used to play. Could you just recommend any games then?
Team Fortress 2 is pretty old now. It's like 8 years old, I think.
It's free to play though.
Yes, it is.
Unlike this game.
Oh. Hey.
Just kidding.
Buy my game.
This is...
Buy my game.
Okay. So no. I really enjoy TF2. I think it's got a great amount of content for free, basically, and and it also plays incredibly well. I think it's balanced really solidly, and it's just a great fun. It's great fun to play with friends or by yourself, like whatever.
I used to play Quake World back in the day, and you know, Team Fortress, the original Team Fortress, was a mod for Quake. So, well done, modders.
Oh yeah, well yeah, of course, because Team Fortress 2 came out of the modding sphere as well. Well, Team Fortress kind of came out of the modding sphere, and then they were bought by Valve, which I think it was what me and Davey were hoping to happen at some point in development. But after release, we kind of like, nah, I think we're quite comfortable going it alone. But if Valve wants to hire me, then you know, hey, still give me a call if anyone from Valve's here. But God, I've got to shut up. But no. What was the question? Games. Yeah, Team Fortress 2. Team Fortress 2 is great. I really enjoy. I've played a lot of Spelunky the past few days.
Yeah,
that's really good fun. It's like a modern day kind of classical game, in the sense like it feels really reminiscent of kind of old Super Nintendo games or like arcade games, stuff like that. I've also really enjoyed. I enjoyed Dota 2 for a bit. I think that's coming up next on yours, but on your stream, but after 506 hours, God, I think I couldn't play any more of that. It's very stressful, and I'm just a bit like, whoa, okay. I was sinking a lot of my time into it at one point, and it didn't make me feel super positive about myself. So I don't think I have the hardcore kind of mentality to play Dota 2.
That's the game we're gonna play after this, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah. We've got another question, William. Which Dr. Jones says, William, you rock. What's the point of all the pointless interactive objects in the game, like the buttons in the launch room?
In the launch room, like in the countdown room.
Yeah.
In the countdown room. To spoil it for anyone who's not played, if you turn on the mind control and you disobey the narrator there, it starts kind of a nuclear countdown, and then those buttons comprise a puzzle that you have to solve in order to turn the countdown off and stop the bomb from exploding. And there is a way for you to stop it. There is a way. Just kidding. Not really possible.
Interesting. Let's see. We've got some more questions here. We have one question from Rymdyogurt, which is Space Yogurt. William, how has the success of the Stanley Parable affected you as a developer? Do you feel any pressure to achieve something with the same impact with your next game?
That's been a big thing in my life for the past kind of 8 months as well. I know I didn't think about it instantly after finishing this, but yeah, of course, it's obviously something that kind of I think about, and I know Davey thinks about it as well. But I think the big thing that I've got to be thankful for is that now I've got a bit of time to try and figure that out. I am working on a new project with a bunch of really brilliant and talented people, and I'm sure that it'll do all right, I guess. But I know Stanley Parable's kind of exploded beyond kind of any realm of me being able to achieve anything that'll come close to the success that it's enjoyed. So I'm not holding out for my next game to be like a mega hit. But I guess all I can do is do my best.
Well, we do wish you the best of luck.
Oh, thank you.
And don't feel any pressure. I mean, we've got Swedish developers. We got some quite famous ones. You might have heard of Notch. You know, the guy who made Minecraft. I'm not gonna brag or anything, but
maybe his name might ring a bell. I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't know.
So I bet he's feeling the same thing a bit. Yeah, tough to beat that first big game.
Yeah, well, I guess I'm laughing. Sorry, I'm laughing at things on the video stream, but I realize that they're like 30 seconds behind. I was about to comment on it and then just realized
Yeah.
I don't even. I'm going to minimize that so I don't.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting frustrated now.
God, so as far as the next game goes, the kind of problem that a lot of developers who've had quite successful first games face. I really kind of admire John Blow's kind of style of development, in the sense that he finished Braid and then he put a lot of the profits back into production of his next game, The Witness, which does look absolutely amazing, and it makes me feel terrible about myself every time I see it. But I think maybe just make stuff, and maybe that'll be all right. I suppose that's my mantra at the moment. Anyway, make stuff.
Just make stuff until something works.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what this game is about too. Just try everything out and find out what works.
Well, I don't want to comment on a specific interpretation of a piece of art. But yeah, I think a really fun thing to see with the Stanley Parable is that it's got a it's kind of built a community that's really engaged with it, which is just a kind of insanely rewarding thing to feel. Like that people will work at it and try and kind of uncover its secrets and find some meaning inside it that they can take away themselves.
Right. I think, are we close to the ending? Oh, it ended. And you know what? I think that's about all the time we have for the Stanley Parable. Thank you, William. You've been great. And we hope to maybe get to play your next game in a future event, perhaps.
Maybe in 5 years or something. I don't know.
And you know, I've joked a lot, but this game is really worth every single krona. It's amazing. I've barely played it myself, but just watching other people get really frustrated and mad and angry has been worth it for me. So thank you again, William, and best of luck to you.
Oh, thank you so much. Have a wonderful time. Have a good luck for both the stream and Dota. All right,
and we'll talk to you another time.
All right, awesome, man. So do I just hang up, or how does
this work? Sure, just hang up.
Oh,
Thank you, William. Bye. Bye. Woo! Och tack till Oishi Amino som spelar det här spelet. Hej! Det var det